Alright, welcome back to Shaving Fuzzy. I'm Fuzzy. Hi, y'all. So it's Wednesday. So we're going to do Williams Wednesday, actually on Wednesday, with the more modern Williams here. Dug out the one blade. I hadn't used this in a while. It was in a box and hadn't been unpacked since I moved, and should have been. But anyway, the one blade, and it's got a blade in it. It should be okay. We're going to see. If not, you may never see this video. May have to go a little different way, but we're going to see what happens. So I'm wearing a McDonald's crew shirt, but I've never actually worked at McDonald's. I'm not actually even sure where this shirt came from, but anyway. Had gone out and walked the dogs. Instant coffee. Yes, instant. I just, that's what I'm doing right now. So somebody asked if I ever drank Nescafe, and this is what I have. And I don't drink Nescafe much. I usually, if I'm drinking instant coffee, it's the Cafe Bustelo. And I don't drink instant coffee very often at all anyway. But anyway, every once in a while, I'll do it. And tonight's one of those nights. So we got a little classic Nescafe here. And it tastes like instant coffee, which is what I call a coffee-like beverage. So anyway, let's see if we can get a shave on. It's just a regular old day's growth or so here. And we've been working several days without a day's off, and we picked up, I got to work some shifts on what would have been days off, so it's going to be a while for a day off, but that's okay. Got another one of those lovely supervisor meetings tomorrow. This one's not so bad. Last one wasn't bad. None of them are bad, really. I can't say they are, but we're working on a new schedule scheme type thing. So we're going to be going over and listen to everybody whine about the new schedule scheme, about what it's going to end up being. And that's just supervisors. That ain't saying how much the officers are going to whine about it. Some of them are. Oh, well, way it goes. You can't always please everybody. Now, I'm not a big person on change. I understand things have to progress, but a lot of times it seems like things progress and it's not really any progress. It's like, okay, it's different, but it's not particularly any better. I mean, just going and changing things to be different, it's never been one of my, just because you want them different, you're not really improving anything, or if there's not really anything needs improving. If it's working, leave it alone. Who cares if it's the same way you've done it for 40 years? If it works, leave it alone. You don't have to update things just because of time. Everybody wants everything updated and easy and simple, and I don't get it. I was considered pretty lazy when I was a youngin', but it ain't nothing compared to folks these days. All right. Get us some Williams going here. We got my favorite old Smog here, the 1305. If you ain't got a 1305 in your collection, you need one. That's all I'm saying about that. This one's well broke in, and it's got a handle that was customized by Miss Luna. Bless her heart. I had dropped one of my shoe shine brushes the other day, and I didn't think to pick it up. And she very rarely chews on anything anymore. But she decided to chew on the corner of that brush while I was working. Oh, well, I guess that's just what you get when you have dogs running around. Well, there we go. Get a little wheel spread around. Dress it up all up like that. Let's see what this here one blade, I believe this is the core, one blade core. Was gifted to me a while back. I still appreciate it. Yeah, I think it's going to do okay. It's going to be about the last shave on this blade, though. I'll take it out when I get done. But, it uses the feather single edge. Everybody talks so good about those things, but to me, they're kind of harsh and they don't really last. That's always been my problem with feather. I find they're harsh. And they just don't last. I know people will argue about that, especially the being harsh part, but Oh, the core here, the one blade is not a bad razor at all. Shaves good. You're supposed to push down so that the head pivots, if I remember correctly. But I don't know. It does the job. All right. Got a first pass done. But yeah, you know, some of the auto strop razors use the same blade, and some of them have to use the blade because they have to have the cutouts. You can't just, some of them you can modify a gem blade and you can make it work. Some of them have to have the cutouts, so you have to use these blades. They're a little more expensive, but they don't. I don't think they last very well. As I've said like probably 6 times since we've been making this video, I guess. But I know a guy that says all he can shave with is a feather. He uses it one time and then it's too dull to shave his heavy beard. Okay. All right. Got a little more of the webs on for the cross grain here. And we'll be ready for our little touch-up pass. There we go. So it's still hot over this way. I had the advantage of being able to sleep through the hottest parts of the day. I been working nights, and I get home and I walk the dogs in the morning before the sun really gets up, and we stay inside most of the day. And then I go back out when the sun starts down. I get back up and walk them again, and then it's time to start getting ready for work and all. So I've been able to not get out in the heat too much. But tomorrow and Friday, I'm going to be at work at 2 p.m., 1400. So I'll be a little more in the heat doing those. But, be alright. It would definitely be alright. Well, let's see what we got here. I know what we got. What we got's a pretty good shave. Someone in one of the comments the other day when we used the Enders was asking how it compared to modern razors, and the razors he named I haven't used. But I can compare it to the one blade. The Enders is easier to use than any of them in my opinion. They all, I'm sure, give a shave because razors, blades are blades. But the thing about the Enders that is the real drawback is the fact that you have to finagle a blade for it. It's a proprietary blade, so you have to have some kind of an adapter with the blade. That's the drawback of the Enders. They were easy to find and fairly inexpensive because they were just pretty much showpieces. But I understand now there's some folks making adapters and stuff. Someone had mentioned Hendrix, and anyway, something about using a magnet. I haven't looked it up. I haven't looked into it. I just don't know anything about it. But that's what they were saying, and so maybe it's easier to use than Enders. But if you haven't, and Enders, it's a great razor. It's a very comfortable razor to use, and that the head design, the way it's made, it's nothing complicated about it. All right, let's go. I felt a little roughness under this here jawbone. We're going to go back and clean that up some. By golly. Used to be a guy over at the Shave Den I used to argue with before they kicked me out. They had built a razor, and I don't remember the name of the thing now, but it had a pivoting head. And this guy was saying that was the only razor he could get a good shave with the regular razors. He couldn't get a good shave with, and so he had to go to that razor. So instead of learning technique, learning how to use the good stuff, he had to find an alternative thing that supposedly worked better. I always thought the guy was an idiot. I still think the guy's an idiot. But anyway, my thoughts don't matter on that. Remember, folks, what other people think about you is really none of your business. That's the way I look at it. What other people think about me is none of my business. Don't care. But what I do care about is that right there is a nice shave from the one blade. Probably be the last shave for that particular blade. But I got a few more of those floating around somewhere. Like I said, they're a little more expensive than the regular single edge blades, but when you got those razors, well, you got to have them. It keeps you using some old razors, and it's definitely worth it for the auto strops, by the way. If you got an auto strop and that's the blade it needs, and you're wondering, well, is it worth it me paying a little extra money to get those blades? And yes, it is. The answer to your question is yes. It is definitely worth it. Not only just because they're so neat looking, but it's a really neat shave, and it's a good shave. Alrighty, so there we go. We're going to finish up with a little bit of the old citrus musk today. And I'm going to go ahead and put some on. Of course, I'm going to have to put some on after the shower too before I go to work. But we're going to go ahead and slap a little bit on here, and then it's going to be time to start working towards that shower. That's a mental picture anybody needs. There we go. All right. Well, I hope y'all having as good a life as I am. Hope things are going well. If you're in part of the world that's as hot as it is here, or even hotter, I think I saw 133 in Death Valley the other day. Something along those lines. But it's hot everywhere. Yes, it is. And stay cool. You know, if it's wet where you are, stay dry. If it's dry where you are, stay hydrated. I told someone the other day I drink a lot of water. I just prefer to heat it up and pour it over ground coffee beans of some kind. That's kind of how I drink a lot of my water. But anyway, there you go. Y'all have a good day. Whoever you are, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, I hope you had a Williams Wednesday. I had a Williams Wednesday on Wednesday this time. Happy shaves to you.